ever. Good to see you guys. Wow, look at this group. We've got Angie and Esther. Welcome, you guys. There's Susie, Candy, Laura, Elaine, and there's Mark and NorCal. Welcome, everyone. More Susies. We got multiple Susies in the room now. Of course, we got Jackie here. As always, good to see you, Jackie. Did you get some sleep, Jackie? Did you get some sleep last night?
No.
No? Okay. There's Matt. Welcome, Matt, Carol Ann, Christina. Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started right now. Let me mute everybody, and we are good to go. First, we've got a quick policy update because I've gotten multiple bits of feedback from people who are confused, and that's not what you signed up here to be, is confused. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of any confusion. I know we all enjoyed the meeting before the meeting. I just walked in on one where we had multiple people sharing tips and advice on setting up LLCs and accounting and Amazon seller accounts and what address do I use and all the little minutia of getting things going here, which is cool. Thank you guys for whatever you like to do before we go live here. The confusion has come up when I leave the room open once we're done and I kill the YouTube feed and whatever, and then people stick around, and sometimes new people think, well, I should be sticking around too. And now they're sticking around and around and around and around, and they're getting more and more confused. So from now on, we will end the meeting when we're done with the big group. And if you guys want to come right back in, the room just resets and it's open again. You can deliberately choose to click on that button again in a very unconfused fashion. And now you're going into that room again. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing from this point forward. And it's just one more click. Okay, so I know if you guys want to continue your conversation, just be prepared to click again. I also want to give a shout out to Julian. I don't know if Julian's with us live on the show here today, but Julian, if you are, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick because I got something really cool. See, it's one of the great things that we get to meet each other here and get a little bit social sometimes, because Periston thought that this whole thing is just going to be us staring at computer screens all day. Can you guys see this? You see that? That is Julian's bobber right there. You seeing this? Can I get a nod from somebody? Jackie?
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, good. So Julian, apparently he's got a Porsche as well. Check that out. This is number 007 of 500. Wow, limited edition. So naturally, I had to reciprocate and say, yeah, here's my two-wheeled garbage truck, baby. Look at this, 750 pounds of big, beautiful black
John.
stuff. So, in fact, that's Picacho Peak. That's right between Phoenix and Tucson. It's an ancient volcano crater, Picacho Peak. You can go hike it if you like. I've hiked it a little bit, but yeah, I think that was on my way out to. I was headed out to Los Angeles or something. And this is on Mount Lemmon, just north of Tucson. That beautiful ride. So those of you who ride, hit Arizona sometime, and you will be a happy camper.
I'll be down at some point.
There he is.
I am here.
Thank you.
How you doing?
For that picture with me. That was inspirational.
I was very envious of your bike and the location, though. So there you go. Something to aspire to.
Yeah, you know what? Sun and wide open highways every day.
Yeah.
Wild West. We're just suffering through it over here. Although, and look, this is going to lead into our topic today. Most of you are probably thinking, "Oh my goodness, why are we looking at motorcycles right now?" I'll tell you why. It's for a good reason, because we've got to have a reason for even showing up here in the first place. Look, none of us were born into Amazon. Sophie wasn't born into Amazon or online business or whatever you're doing here. Obviously, for myself, I identify as I'm an author and speaker. I'm a business consultant. I do business online. I have for some decades now. It got me out of the job, right? Which I was not satisfied with, right? Working the job and doing whatever. Okay, but the means is not the end. In fact, I want to acknowledge Adrian Gardner, who also kind of rekindled the idea that I'm going to be talking with you about today, and that is the why. Okay, which may seem so basic, that, I mean, if we're all here, here's the logic. Okay, so I'm here to learn, says the new student. I'm here to learn how to do Amazon. And yes, that's what you're going to learn. In fact, you're going to learn from the best. If you want to learn how to do Amazon profitably, you picked the right teacher with Sophie Howard. Well done. Congratulations, you're here. Now, does that not imply that you have a reason for being here? Yes. Yes, we could certainly say that, none of us showed up here just on a whim, right? I'm bored. Let me go join some Amazon deal, pay thousands of dollars and, put hours of my life in front of a computer screen where I'm learning how to do like e-commerce, whatever that is, right? So that's the means, but it's not the end. We must be ever aware in terms of front of mind of why we showed up here in the first place. And look, I need reminders all the time. There's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. If we look at the difference between people who make big progress in life, in business, in whatever, fitness, right, versus those who don't, which is most people, okay? The big difference here is motivation. Motivation, willingness to act. Yes, willingness to act. And to the degree that I'm motivated and I'm willing and I act, and to that degree that I execute on my intent, right? To that degree, I see higher and higher levels of results. Now, here's the interesting part of all this. Christina, I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic. Got a little bit of background noise. Here's the interesting part of this is that we forget because we get stuck in the thick of then things. I'll speak for myself. Okay. I'm not going to put this on you. You can own it or not. Okay. I get stuck in the thick of then things, the minutia, the doingness of it all, right? The little problems to be solved, which as a new person may seem like mountains. To Sophie, it's tiny, the little speed bump. What? Oh, we're talking about that? Oh my goodness. I don't even remember that problem, right? I solved that problem in 2.5 seconds, right? But to you, oh my goodness, look at the big problem. So as a new person, you would think that we're even closer to our why, because I mean, it's pretty fresh in our minds. It's pretty fresh in our minds why we showed up here in the first place. The job sucks, or I can't send my kids to the private school they want, or whatever the dissatisfaction was, which was glaringly obvious to you, which caused you to start to look for ways to reach for more. Okay, but while that may seem fresh in your mind, what's actually more distant for you in your mind is the destination, is the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a tiny little light. You're all the way here at the beginning of the tunnel. Okay. So that's got to be real. The motivation can't be just getting out of circumstances that you find this pleasurable. That's a good initial motivator. Okay. But now you're walking away from that. You're not looking at that too much, I hope, right? You're looking towards what you want instead of just looking consistently at what you don't want. It's much more inspirational to move towards what you do want. So how do we remind ourselves of why we showed up here in the first place? Because we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere. Where is that thing? Well, you know what? That becomes more defined, that becomes more crystallized the more you do the things that that drive you as a being. Okay, never mind what business you're engaged in or wanting to be engaged in. What drives you as a being? Many of you started reading Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning, which is a very light duty book about things that you can do to be a bit more deliberate and self-determined about how your day is going to begin at the outset. That's a really good thing to do. That's called proactivity. That's you in control. You in control of your calendar, not your calendar in control of you. I heard Thomas Edison was quoted saying, not Thomas Edison, Thomas Jefferson, another Tom. In 50 years, I have not let the sun find me in bed. Okay, so the sun's up always after he's up. The sun's never up before him, right? So we're getting deliberate about how our day starts, and we're taking command right at the beginning. Okay, we're deciding who's in charge, and we've got reason to take charge of that. You know, people without goals, people with no why, no real reason for living, purposeless living, right? They sleep a lot. It's called depression, right? And then I guess we can go take drugs, right? And we can go look outside of ourselves for answers. Okay, purposeless living sucks. It's really bad. Okay, I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. Okay, so what is it? In fact, you can even look at sometimes like retired people who feel like they've accomplished their purpose or whatever, or at least they've amassed enough money to not have to work for money. But if that's the whole equation, well, I mean, that's only part of the story. Yeah, I'm all with the idea of no longer working for money, having money work for you. Robert Kiyosaki, one of the other books we're reading, Cash Flow Quadrant, right? He talks about the 4 different quadrants of behavior and of operating strategy when it comes to either employee or self-employed or business owner or investor. Transitioning from earned income to capital gains, that's really cool. That's great. So let's say you've transitioned from earned income to capital gains, or you've just amassed enough money in a bank account or IRA or whatever that you feel like you don't have to earn money anymore in order to survive. Does that mean that you've got no more purpose? Here's where I'm going with this. Purposeless living. Now what? Now we thinking about? What are we just obsessed with what's for lunch? While we're eating breakfast, we got to think about what's for lunch because that's like the next big event of our day. Look, there is joy in work. If you've got a reason to do the work, there is joy in work. No one, in fact, I'm quoting Henry Ford now. There is joy in work. No one experiences happiness unless they see that they've accomplished something. Accomplishment. Production is the basis of morale. Yes, of you feeling good about who you are and what you're doing with your life. What you have or don't have at this moment, well, that's transient, right? That's the end of the road, right? I have this stuff now. Okay, great. Now what, right? There's got to be a now what. There damn well better be a now what. If you've arrived, you're in rough shape. Okay, never arrive. So, thinking about why we're doing this in the first place. While it's fresh in your mind when you're new, that yes, I've got this rubber band is stretched tight. I am dissatisfied with this. I want to go here. That rubber band is stretched tight. That's pulling me forward. As long as we keep looking at what's pulling us forward, we've got to remain ever aware. And we've talked about, dream boards. I'm sure you guys have heard of this, right? Clip out the magazine, paste it to the wall over your computer monitor. Look at the new car. Look at that house, right? I'm pointing really high because I've got 2 computer monitors here. I've got a bigger one on top of the little one. Anyway, so up there, right? There's stuff for me to look at. Or not. Where are we going? Think of it like you're driving your car, right? You got this big windshield or windscreen if you're in England, right? And you got the windshield, you're looking out of it. And then you got these 2 little mirrors on the side view mirrors, right? They're small. Where do you spend most of your time and attention? Out the front. Where are you going, right? Not where you've been, right? Consider that too. See what's coming up behind you, okay? But most of your attention should be out the windshield. Same thing here. We can't be vague about this. Confucius say, man who shoots at nothing, sure to hit it. Got to have a target, and you got to know what it is, which drives this whole thing. And then, yeah, these problems, which may seem like big problems, right? Oh, I don't know how to set up the thing or whatever. Okay. They become little tiny bumps, right? Mountains become molehills. Also, your standards raise. Here's the beauty of it all. When we get more clear, and we do this every day, okay? So again, I'll refer to how Elrod starts his day with the savers, what he calls the savers, right? What's S? Silence, right? So sit there and be quiet, right? And then visualization. So affirmation, visualization. I don't know it off the top of my head. So silence, affirmation, visualization. I see affirmation and visualization as the same thing. That's auto-suggestion, but I guess he had to come up with a cool acronym that called SAVER. Okay, great. So whatever. Okay, so auto-suggestion. What is it that we're telling ourselves about ourselves all day? Not just when we're sitting there focusing on it because we got quiet for a minute, but how about after that? What are we telling ourselves all day? Are you the guy or the gal who rides the custom bobber like Julian? If that's your, that may not be your thing. It's Julian's thing. Okay. Are you the person who has the kids in private school or whatever your thing is, right? The time freedom, the location freedom, the financial liberty to express yourself in terms of maybe some philanthropic work beyond your own physical presence, right? You can do a lot more with money than you can without. Well, okay, great. So I'll go get some money unapologetically, right? But do you know, and can you remind yourself, and do you talk to yourself all day, every day, to the greatest extent possible, as the person who would accomplish that, even though you don't have the money in the bank account yet? But that's what can and should, and I think must, drive you forward. Because once again, it's way more inspirational to move towards what you want than just out of what you don't want. Yes, that rubber band is stretched. Yes, the negative conditions, or whatever you're calling those conditions, which motivated you in the first place, they may be fresh in your mind, but that tiny little light at the end of the tunnel, that's got to get bigger. That's got to get bigger for you. Plaster it all over the place, unapologetically. I got a friend who, like, every room in his house, he's got quotes from the greatest thinkers of history. He goes into his kitchen, and there on the kitchen refrigerator, right? There's the affirmations, right? He goes into the bathroom, has a seat, and bam, there's the picture of the new car. Can't get away from it. Everywhere you look, there it is. We become what we think about. Earl Nightingale said that's the strangest secret. It's strange because it's really not a secret. And like, ask 1,000 people on Main Street, what's the secret of success? You'd be lucky to find one who could tell you. We become what we think about. Why are you showing up here? Great thing to remember, I think. And then, yeah, you'll figure out all the little stuff along the way. The big question is, who's doing this? Not what do you do? Who's doing it? And my friends, that's what I know Sophie wants for you. And what I want for you is for you to just make a spectacle of yourself, right? I mean, somebody's got to. Sophie certainly has, right? Is she magical? Is she a unicorn or something? No. But the intent, way up here. The definiteness of purpose, way up here. Okay? Can't be vague about this. Guys, I hope you take these ideas and you'll use them. Use them. Remind yourself of how powerful you actually are, because you are. You are. And we're going to get this done, and we're not going to do it alone. Isn't that beautiful? We're not going to do this alone. In fact, for those of you going through the Jetstream process, you're learning about what it looks like on top of the mountain, right? Because there's a lot up there, and you can participate. So stick with your accountability reps, get through that process, and you'll be seeing behind curtain number 2, which is really, really cool, like amazingly cool. So some of you know, right? And this is not for public distribution or anything. So if you know, you know. Okay. In fact, there was a commercial. If you know, you know. What commercial was that? I don't remember. But it was kind of like insinuating there's the inside group, and then there's, whatever, the public. So if you know, you know. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here for you to participate in. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. We are 19 minutes into the broadcast. You guys, you don't have to raise your hand, Lisa, although you could. If you want to talk, just unmute your microphone. Lisa, do you want to unmute? Lisa's got her hand raised. Go ahead and lower your hand. And whoever wants to come on out, come on down. You're the next contestant on whatever this is. Stephen just raised his hand. Uh-oh, are we having a sound problem? I'm not hearing anyone talking. Commence talking, someone.
Hello, I hear you.
I
hear you.
Thank you. Who would like to talk?
I could say something.
Yes.
So again, pretty new to the group here. I'm on my first out of the 5 books. Yeah, Miracle Morning, which is phenomenal. I'm incredibly busy throughout the day. Miracle Morning has been actually pretty helpful, and the visualization and the affirmation have actually been incredibly helpful as well. And I sort of use both of those to help me with my goal setting for where I want to be, and as well as for where I want to be in my current business of allergy and immunology, which I immensely enjoy, but want to supplement my income. So I just wanted to add that I found that very useful. And your statement about bumps in the road, I think is very appropriate, because if you have goals, the bumps in the road really do become bumps in the road, but not Mount Everest. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Matt. So glad you're here, man. So you've been here like a week. We're going to be hearing a lot more from you. I am excited that you are here. All right, I had to mute a couple mics for a little bit of background noise. You can unmute at will. Stephen, I think, has his hand up. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hiya.
There he is.
Something that I've been struggling in my head is the whole goal thing. In that you hear sometimes people say, oh yeah, have your big, hairy, scary goal, the thing that stretches you and gets you outside of your comfort zone. but then I find that it's kind of an impossible feat, and I'm sort of immobilized with the sort of the dauntingness of it. And then I've also heard about having sort of micro goals so that you can see ahead, and therefore if things are achievable, you build your confidence. But then I find with that I kind of tend to play small rather than sort of stretch myself up and trying to sort of move up a gear. Then I've been going through the power of consistency, and so in that it talks about writing down your goals, and I've just got to the bit where it says about what one, maybe two things can you do every single day to move on your goals. I've only focused on two so far, which was I want to be rich, which is kind of the positive opposite of fed up of being poor. I was speaking to my sister this morning when we were going for a bike ride, and she was talking about drinking habits, and I said I've never really got into a drinking habit because I spent most of my life skint, so that was an expensive luxury that I could sort of easily cut out. And then the other one is sort of more a contributory thing, that want to build a history park, a sort of 500-acre place where history can be made accessible and engaging and interactive, because in the UK most of it is kind of look, don't touch, kind of theoretical academia, and so that's kind of worked around what our business is. So yeah, I'm not really sure where I was going with that, but there's just kind of like two extremes about sort of playing small and then being daunted is something that I've been struggling with.
Mm. Well, thank you for sharing that, Stephen. And you know, the first step is, of course, confronting whatever you feel the out point is, and then tackling that. So I think clarity through contrast, which is one of the things you mentioned. Here's where we are. Here's where we're going. That's the opposite of it, right? Here's lack, limitation. Here's abundance. Here's affluence. Okay, so ever focusing on that, and then allowing that to crystallize, because each day we sit there and we visualize that. What does that actually look like? Oh, I just got another distinction. Let me write that down. That's a little detail I didn't see yesterday. Now I saw that detail, and it gets more and more clear, right? Did I ever tell you guys the story about the guy with the Viper? I got a friend who wanted a Viper car, you know, a Dodge Viper. You know what that is? Anyway, he had a picture of a black one on his like dream board, right? And then, but he was thinking, I always wanted a red Viper. I want a red one, right? Anyway, in his local area, a black one came up for sale, and it was perfect. It was exactly what he wanted. But then he saw the black, and he was like, oh my goodness, yeah, it's the black one. Turns out he was looking at a black one for like months, right? There was no red one in his future. It was a black one.
That's
so
cool.
Interesting how that stuff works, whether you know it or like it or not, right? You become what you think about. In this case, he drives a black Viper, or he did anyway. This was some years ago. But Stephen, thank you for sharing. I saw Mark was attempting to speak as well. Mark, did you want to say something? Mark, you there? Mark Tregenza? There he is. Mark? I'm looking at you.
I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Very good. I just didn't want to neglect you. I think you're on the road, maybe in a truck or something, so I didn't want to neglect you. I see Regina and Joe. I see Victoria. Who wants to talk next? Evelyn?
I want to talk.
Yes, hi. Can you guys hear me?
We can. There's Evelyn.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening before. I was trying to talk to you guys and you guys couldn't hear me, but I'm reading this book, John.
Ah.
Power of Consistency, and it speaks to me volumes because it talks about all the junk that we have in our brain that has been put by our families when we were growing up. You cannot do that, you cannot afford that, you will never reach this, you know, and how we got to change our mindset and able to achieve everything we want. For that also is how to start putting in all the good stuff, you know, and that's what you're doing. That's what you're walking us through. That's what you're teaching us. And that's why you're giving us all those books. And I love that because you have to have goals that make you want to get up, make you have that energy, make you have that keep on going when the tough gets going, right? You gotta keep on pushing through the noise, you know, the setting up the Amazon account, my bank account, my this, my that. Those are little things, but keep the big goal in front of you, which is to become an Amazon seller. That's the end goal for all of us. We're all going to go through the little bumps on the road, etc., but keep a positive mind. Don't let those little things get you out of your course. Just go for it. But you have to have something that moves you here inside that is not going to let you stop. So that's what I've taken off it so far. You know, you can hear the emotion in me. I have a very big why. And that's what gets me going. I am like you guys. You know, I have the questions about my bank account, about my sellers Amazon account. I'm like, whatever, I'll get to it. And when I get to it, I'll ask the question and I'll find out. But my goal is huge that I cannot put it on the wall. It's in my heart, it's in my mind, it's in my husband's, and that's what pushes us forward. And that's what I've taken so far. It's the only book I've been able to grab right now because the other ones are on the way. But that's what makes me get up in the morning.
Great.
I'm going.
It's a good book to start with and to reread. As far as like ordering physical books, I've heard from some people you're waiting on physical books to arrive. Last time I moved, I weighed my library. It was 1,200 pounds just in books. So I switched everything. I'm all Kindle now. Yeah. So they arrive like that. So, and
I
what
have Kindle,
are
but
we? You guys have heard of
I'm
Amazon, right? What?
I'm
Was that-
sorry.
What was that, Evelyn? Go ahead.
I said I am a Kindle person. I'm okay with that. But my husband, he likes to have the book.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's not
Good.
me.
Well, the advantage of the actual physical book is that your husband gets to find it on the table and pick it up and read it as well. That's great. Very
Hey,
good.
John,
Yes, who's next?
it's Gail.
Hi,
I just
Gail.
wanted to say I'm a book lover, and when I had to downsize and move when I retired, I had in my living room a wall. It's 6 foot high and 35 feet, 20 feet wide. My living room was 35. It was filled with books. I gave away 37 boxes of books, and I just kept the ones that I really like and that had special meaning to me. And then I started with Kindle. Now I don't know how many hundreds I have on there, but the books that I do have, they're in 1, 2, 3 6 foot by 36 foot wide bookcases with doors on them, and their books. Some of those books have traveled with me over the world. I've lived in 7 different countries, and we were always fortunate that the company my husband went to work for paid for the shipping. So some of my books have traveled the world with me, and I'm not getting rid of them, but I'm
Wow.
a lover.
I've met my match, ladies and gentlemen. I've met my match. Gail has way more than 1,200 pounds of books. That sounds like something to behold right there.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right. Who's next?
Yes, John.
Hi. Okay. I see Marta. I see Regina and Joe. Who's talking next? Please.
I just
Yeah.
want to make a quick comment. I'm a lot more of a visual person, and we have been in a different company previously, which told us about good videos. And The Secret is one of the really, really good ones that you talk about,
Mhm.
wish boards and things like that. Awesome. They're very powerful. You're more of a visual person.
Beautiful. Yeah. So there's I guess the argument for the dream board, the magazine clippings, the going to the automotive website to download the brochure, the PDF, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's
stuff.
amazing how it works. It may not work
Yeah.
next year or this year, but it actually always works and scares the crap out of people. Like, oh my God,
Yep.
it
Yep.
surprises you sometimes when you
Yeah.
forget about it. And then you comes back and you see this wish board and you go, oh, that's my car sitting out front. How did that happen?
That's beautiful.
Really
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you, Regina. Marta, were you going to talk?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Yeah, I just wanted to share with everybody. Last Tuesday, John called me and, to sign for the X-Tain program, which I did. But the week before what had happened, John, I had injured my back. I'm doing better, but so that took me off a little bit. So this is like my 4th week into the program. But anyway, so I signed for the X-Tain program, but I was hesitating, when he called me for a second, my fear came to me. And just what I wanted to tell everybody is like, fear is really your friend, right? Because it basically brings front and center your limitations, what all the things that you think you are limited, your limited beliefs come at front and center. So it took me a little bit. So John said to me, okay, what are you going to do, Marta? And then finally say yes. So what I wanted to say to everybody is like, saying yes is what is the most powerful thing you can do. When you say yes, what you do is you say yes to things that are bigger than you, which is that will be our potential Amazon business, which is bigger than me because I have to learn everything from the baby steps. But just saying yes, and just obviously it's bigger than me, and then just saying yes, and then I'll figure it out later. But you have to take that leap. You have to start saying yes to something. Once you say yes, I think that saying yes is the most powerful thing that somebody can do to move forward into this business. So you say yes, and you find out then what your limitations are, and you go past your limitations, and then and you say yes to things that are bigger than you, and then you figure it out later. And we have every little tool he's given to us to figure things later, and that's what I'm saying to do. But anyway, so thank you, John, for probing me a little bit. And it took a little time, but like I say, to me, yes. I mean, you can read books, you can be you can be coached, and this is so powerful, this program, because I think that John is there to support you and bring front and center the same message every single day that yes, you can do it. But then it's up to us to say yes. So I will encourage everybody to say yes to things that are bigger than you, and then just go figure it out later. So that's what I wanted to say.
Wow, Marta. Well, you know what? Congratulations to you. And it's always a pleasure to talk with you and others who are on the path, right? Because we didn't come this far just to come this far. So the whole idea that Marta was just sharing about encountering ideas and accepting ideas that are bigger than your current position, your current station in life, or however you want to call it, that is enormous. And again, for those of you going through the Jetstream process, which you should all be going through if you just got started here within the last couple of weeks, you're going to see there's quite a bit happening behind the scenes that Marta and I are not at liberty to talk about right now in the open group. So anyway, thank you, Marta. It's so good to see you. You're glowing. Look at her. She's glowing, everyone. Okay. Somebody else is glowing. Victoria. What's up, Victoria?
Hi. Hello.
You're glowing. What's going on?
It's great. I joined Thursday evening, so very, very new. When you're talking about all of this has actually already happened. I've been thinking about ideas for a while, but not knowing how to do it. And thinking about products, but not knowing how to manufacture. And thinking about all these seemed crazy things, but no direction, no focus, not knowing where to start, a little bit lost. And then all of a sudden, things started coming up, and I did research and just really loved just everything, I think. Sophie's mentality, her outlook, her energy, everything. And I think from Thursday, I've been off to a flying start. I feel like I've got quite a bit done. So it's really got momentum moving. And I think it's worth bearing in mind what you and Marta said about, there might be a little dip or a pitfall, or that's all it is. It's absolutely nothing else. So being here today and just saying hello, everybody, and hi, and, it's great to be here, really is. But I think this has been something that I've already had in my mind, and pictures on walls and notebooks and writing things, and this is where I've come to. So you're absolutely right. It's living proof that that's how it works, because here I am. So it's just very nice to meet you all, and I'm sure I'll see you all again another time as well. But
yeah, in 23 hours and 25 minutes, we'll be back here again.
Yeah, we will.
Yes. Very predictably. Very predictably. Something that Victoria said reminded me of a concept called work avoidance, right? So when we're new in something and we're kind of dreading, oh, there's a lot to learn here, right? Well, if we've got a reason to, which is what we're talking about today, the why. If our why is big enough, then we turn our attention to the work and we grab the machete and start cutting the weeds and we fully confront it. Okay? Fully confront it. That's how we solve a problem. Go right through the problem. Okay? And so we don't dance around it or, hey, this is uncomfortable. Oh, fine, let's get uncomfortable. And guys, I think of it like, well, pretty much like, going into battle, right? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Guess what? Time to fully confront the problem and completely eradicate the problem. And then next thing you know, it's not a problem anymore. And then, again, like I said, what seemed like a mountain is now tiny, a little thing. It's not, who cares about that stuff, right? So it's all about the perspective. And thank you. We're seeing it right before our eyes with Victoria. So Victoria, thank you. And for sharing, with your emotion. I see you waking up into this whole thing, blossoming or however you want to call it. Thank you so much, my friend. I see Susie, I see Star, I see Obi who wants to talk next. Well, we got.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Hey, Obi and Star, hooray!
Hi everyone. Good to see everyone smiling. I just wanted to contribute on the why, the why that you talked about today. The reason why me and Star are here is because already we've been on Amazon for since 2014, buying and selling, arbitrage and all that. So when the why came to us, when we joined, why we joined this group, Sophie and everything, it's we've got a goal to take Amazon to the next level. We have done most of the stuff and everything, but now we're taking to the next level. So our next level, just to announce it to all my fellow members here, today I got approved for my Amazon USA today.
Good for you.
Yes. What I did because they kept on sending me these emails that my verification was not good enough and everything like that. So I had to bypass that process, and I went to knock at Bezos' door and said, no, these guys, they're refusing me. I need to move forward. I've got a goal, So from Friday now, they started to talk to me nicely, and today it has been approved.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so what I can say to my fellow colleagues here is that don't let anything let you down. We've got work to do here, so we have to do everything possible to make Amazon work, because we know Amazon works. We don't believe, we actually know it works, because it has worked for us in several ways. So we know it's going to work. So, but now our goal is to take it to the next level. Why are we here? We want to take it to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Well said. Thank you, Obi and Star. And very good. Susie, this is one of my favorite people. Hey, Susie, you got a comment?
There are two Susies.
Oh, I'm looking at you, Susie Havern.
Okay. Hi. I just wanted to say and I've been through the group for a few weeks. I'm on my third book. I've been diving through the resources, said yes to the AX10, but what I'm finding is an unexpected side effect of belonging to the group, getting inspiration from you and all the members, is that besides moving towards a goal, is that I'm becoming a better person in spite of it all. Like I've just been more positive about things. The worry for money is sort of gone, because I know there's going to be a way at some point to combat the little things. I'm more positive when I speak to people. If they start being negative, I just dismiss it. In my mind, I'm looking for the thing that is positive about whatever negative they're talking about. I like myself more just through this whole process. And it's something I didn't really expect. It's just not all business. It's something more that's happening. And I'm encouraged by it. And it's just making me a better person all around. And that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Susie. Did you have a white paint explosion in your?
No, I'm painting my rental property here, and I'm just I don't know
I
what
was
I'm.
wondering if there was any on the walls.
Right. You got one on your forehead. I don't know
But
if
I'm
you-
getting it done. That's
Right.
the thing, you know. I'm pushing through, and I stopped painting to do this meeting, and you know, that's what's important, you know. So I'm sorry what I look like.
No,
You know,
no, it's all
stop
good.
me.
It's all good.
not going to stop me.
We're just having
Yeah, I
fun.
like the look.
That's very good. That is very good. Yeah. Yeah. We could do glamour another time. Thank you, Susie. So glad you're here. So we got Roxana. We'll take two more and then we got to wrap up. Roxana and then Ego.
Yes.
Roxana, if you wanted to talk.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. And I am so excited to be here. I just wanted to kind of share something real quick about the law of attraction. And since we're talking about, you know, what our why is and where our goals are, etc. I have been really focused on and really mindful about implementing a lot of the things that you had shared, John. And there was one specific thing that I was really hoping for. I lost my job a few months back, and as a result of all this craziness in the world, etc. And I really, really wanted to get this one job. But I have been, you know, kind of looking for it and really visualizing it and thinking through, that's the one I want. That's the one I want. I don't have it on any board, but I only have like the name of the company. So a couple of, I would say Thursday afternoon, I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I really haven't heard anything. It's really freaking me out. And I happened to walk into my office and I look at my phone, which is on mute. And I had been thinking about this company. And there was a person that was calling me. I didn't hear the phone because it was on vibrate. But the person that called me was from that company. And I do have an interview this week for that job. And the reason why I want to share that with you is because though we are speaking specifically about Amazon here, it still speaks to me that, you know, if you really focus and really think on what you really want and have a vision on what that is, it will come to you. No matter what it is, it will come to you and it will be successful. So wish me luck on this interview, guys. But that's really the one thing that I really was expecting, was hoping for, waited so long, and it happened. And I just wanted to share with the group.
Good luck, Roxanne.
Good luck.
Fantastic.
Best
All
of luck.
Congratulations. Good luck.
So we know where we're going. How we're going to get there? Well, we don't really know, do we? I mean, we got some ideas, and the more we execute on those ideas, the more opportunities open up. Thank you, Roxana. Ego had her hand up, and now it's gone. And
I'm here.
there she is.
Okay, right. So I'm just really echoing what everyone else has said. I've been here for just over 1 week. I think it's 8 days I signed up, but I'm just kind of expanding on Mata's point about the yes, you know, just saying yes anyway. I would even go a step further and say a bold yes. So I had been toying with the idea of this for a few months, but then I had to go through chemotherapy. I knew I was having surgery last week, and I made the decision to actually enlist for the program 2 days before my surgery. I think I enlisted on actually the Monday, and I had surgery last Tuesday. And because I had that mindset, I'm reading Miracle Morning. Not to say I'm not in pain, I am. However, I made that bold step, and I knew that I wasn't overcoming a dip, a mole, a hurdle. I was overcoming a mountain, but I was willing to say that bold yes and move ahead and know that despite what's going on in my life and everyone saying, you know, you're mad to be committing to this, I know my why. And despite the mountain that's ahead of me, I actually decided to go for it. Although I'm not even a week into, into having the surgery, actually. So I would definitely say, if you have your mind focused on something, just go for it anyway and deal with the aftermath later. It can only be, it can only be good. You say, John, you mentioned Sophie, made a spectacle of herself. It's a good spectacle, and I'm willing to make a good spectacle of myself.
That's right.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ego.
found your
And,
purpose.
Awesome, Ego.
you're getting much love in the chat roll as well. So glad you're
know.
here.
Thank you,
for
guys.
being
I
a
love
part
you
of
all.
this
Thank
community.
you.
Yeah.
Very
Me
good.
too.
Very good. Hey guys, burning desire, something that you need to share, or you're going to spontaneously combust? 'Cause we've been
I
talking
have
for
something to
years.
say, John.
Yes, go ahead, Nida.
Well, after 2 months that my local my county office was closed, they finally opened for the public today. They were open last week and the week before for specifics, but not for the business division. They finally opened today, so I was there bright and early. I made my line, got soaked and wet. Spent 2 hours in the air conditioner soaked, but I finally can say I finally got my business license for my county. So I'm just waiting now for them to send in the actually have the number, but I'm very proud of myself because that was the last one that I needed in order for me to open my Amazon account. So I'm really excited. Hopefully, they say I should get it by next week. So
Good for
looking
you.
forward to that.
Great.
Congrats.
Well done. Look at all these wins we're celebrating here today.
Yes.
Fantastic. Carol Ann?
I just want to share what day my day is today. I'm going to bring this over here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm in a fog storm. We can barely see across the street.
Oh,
It's all fog because last weekend it was snowing
oh my.
and now we got the fog. So yeah, welcome to Canada weather.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep your spring spirits up in this weather. So everybody that said anything today, thank you for giving me inspiration and making my day sunnier. Thank you.
Glad you're here, Carol Ann.
Thank you.
And summer's coming. Don't you worry. So
Thank
good
God for
stuff,
that.
everyone. Are we good? We'll see you guys
Sorry,
tomorrow.
John.
Yes.
John, one thing I forgot to mention, guys, I got rejected by Amazon twice, but I got approved yesterday.
Good for you.
Congrats. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ego. All right. Everybody else good? Everybody? Okay. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Again, we are going to be shutting down the room. If there's going to be another meeting here, you guys can initiate that on your own. Those of you joining us on YouTube, we're glad you're here as well. And I hope you're getting a lot out of these sessions. I'll be back with you all here tomorrow. Same bat time. So get ready. I'll see you guys then.
John.
Thanks, John. Cheers all. Bye.